by RE/MAX Diamond Realty.
Hello and Hafaday everybody, this is House to Home. Gina is here from RE/MAX Diamond Realty Guam, and on a previous episode, Gina, we were talking about what it means if you want to begin a construction project, if you own the land and build the home of your dreams. I'm wondering right now, are there certain, like in the software world, like where I exist, right? We use the term like turnkey solutions or one-stop shopping, single source providers and everything like that. When it comes to builders and contractors and everything like that, I generally think, they're building a custom home with certain specifications and everything like that. But modular homes are more and more common here. So are there companies out there that can actually cut you an entire quote and say, we'll do everything ceiling to floor, literally, for one price, and it has this whole scope?
There are. I mean, generally that's what contractors do. You go to them, you tell them, this is my budget, here's my property, what can you build for me if I just gave you this amount? And some of the questions that come up is, a lot of the questions that I get is, Gina, okay, I already own my land, but if I'm not interested in getting construction loan, is there an alternative to that? And you use the word turnkey. And that's generally what they're talking about. Is there an alternative to me going to the bank first, applying for construction loan, and then using that money to pay for the building itself? What is my alternative? And then they always use that word, can I do turnkey? And some people have called me and said, well, we don't understand the difference. What is the difference between turnkey and a construction loan? Well, the difference on turnkey is that the contractor that you're hiring, he's going to use money out of his pocket to build the property for you on your land, to build the home for you, to actually do the construction. He takes that money out of his pocket, he builds the house for you on your property, and when it's done, so that's why they call it turnkey. When it's done, he gives you the key, turnkey, and you go and get the loan at the bank and you pay him off.
And if he has to subcontract people for, like, say, if there's additional architecture, if there's landscaping, if there's, any particularities and everything like that, that's all covered under him.
Generally speaking, when you go to a contractor, and there's several ways to do this, but for most people, you go to a contractor, you have your own property. So this is for people who have their own land, right? You've already determined that you've got utilities, so you're not worried about that. You go to the contractor, you work out a deal with him, you work out what the cost per square foot's going to be, and he will provide you, based on my research, he will give you the plans. So he'll draw out the plans. A lot of times what customers do is they look at what the contractor's already built, and generally they pick something that he's already designed. So it's easier for them. I find, and I've built before, so I know how difficult this is. I can look at something on paper, and I know the room says the room is 12 by 12 or 12 by 15, but okay, that sounds good. What does that feel like? I don't really know what that room is going to feel like. So
you need a tangible frame of reference.
Yeah, so that's why, okay, you know what? Take me to something you've already built so I can look at it. And then I end up choosing a plan he's already built because it's so much easier for me. I don't have to dream up what that's going to look and feel like, right? So he'll give me the plans. He'll go get the permit. It's part of the cost per square foot. He'll get the permit. He'll do, generally speaking, the grading work. And what they caution me to say is, if the property is pretty easy to grade, it's pretty easy to clear and grade, then we'll do all that at the cost we've quoted you. But if you're asking me to build on a hill or build within a ditch, like a very rolly property, then we're going to charge you a little bit more for civil work, which is to grade the property and make it ready. Utilities aren't covered. So that's why I said, before you start your construction, go check out the utilities, because that's going to be a very big factor in the cost of construction. And your contractor's not paying for it.
Okay, so with this setup, I'm curious now, is there a greater sense of risk for either for the buyer or for the contractor? Because you're not going through a bank which they can insure the loan, they can guarantee it, all that stuff and everything like that. If the contractor, I enter into an agreement with the contractor, I sign the deal and everything like that, something happens to me, I up and disappear and change my name to,
on that turnkey
to Blake
project,
Hercules,
right?
and I move to Canada, right?
Yeah.
And I flake.
As the contractor?
Yeah. Is it caveat emptor? Buyer beware?
Well, I think it's on both sides because the other side, yeah, absolutely, right? But so think of it this way. The contractor has used his own money to build a home on your land. And the rule is if it's on my land, it belongs to me, right? Generally speaking, the contractor has already put, I mean, if they're smart, they put a lien on it. So even though they're building on your property, they put a lien on it. So if you don't pay him, now he gets the land. It's not that simple, but at the end of the day, he goes through the process. Now he owns your land because you didn't pay him off.
So there are assurances in case something unforeseen like happens. I mean, you know, and this is life. You know, somebody may die, somebody may no longer have the means.
Yeah. So I think the risk is on both sides.
Okay.
What if the contractor doesn't complete the home? What happens to you then? Well, now you've got a half-built structure. You didn't put up the money. The contractor put up the money because it's a turnkey project. But now you have to deal with the stress of how do I go about getting this thing finished off? Can I find somebody else who wants to complete this house that's already been touched by someone? What happens to my warranty? There are so many issues to deal with. And as a consumer looking to do a turnkey project, the thing is, you have to educate yourself. You really have to know what needs to be done, you know, put everything in the right order. So yes, a turnkey might be easy for you because now you're thinking, I just have to find a contractor. They're going to pay for everything up front. But you need to know the process because you could possibly lose your property. So you need to educate yourself before you get started on that type of venture.
And final question, in these type of arrangements, am I still working with you as my realtor to, you know, kind of be the person in the middle?
You know, I've had a lot of customers who actually, they do come to us and we put the project together for them.
Okay.
Yeah, we do. We absolutely. We guide both sides. We
so
guide
in this
the
scenario,
contractor.
it's not just me and the contractor now, because then I get worried.
It can be if you know what to do, but it doesn't have to be. You don't have to do it alone.
And I do not know what I'm doing, and which is why I'm glad that I have
there you go.
Your guidance, your expertise, and you just being awesome.